Yeah, I understand.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Uh, my name is Akodiola Komi Joshua, and I'm going to be our course instructor or pilot for this morning's MMR, as Money Market Review. So, yes, let me acknowledge us as it is. All right, so currently I'm seeing, I think it's more of an international number here, so that's showing 975 something that's like that. So good morning to that person. But please, if you're able to change the number to your name, it would be nice so we'll know how to address you. Okay. So good morning to Abolaji Jeremiah. Good morning to Hamza. Good morning to Akano Femi. Good morning to Chinedu. Good morning to Daniel Egenti. Yeah, it's been a while, Mr. Daniel Egenti. Good morning to Engineer Ajagba. Good morning to Adeyemi Olalekan. Okay, so good morning to Fadari Afolabi. Good morning to Francis Yu. Good morning to Hamza Salau. Good morning to Ikechukwu Johnson. Good morning to John Obane. Good morning to Johnson Olajuyibe. Good morning to Olariwa Jubenga. Good morning to Oluwaseyi. Good morning to Osayende Amimiu. Good morning to Raining Word. Good morning to Seidu John Bamidele. Okay, so good morning to Show Busola Alabi. Yeah, I can also see some signs and for like maybe this person is a mathematician or something. I mean, this person is into physics or statistics, sort of. God knows. Good morning to Tolu. Um, yes, good morning to Tolu Lusanya also. Yeah, Tolu Lusanya, yes. Good morning to Uncle Ademola. Yes. Good morning to Vivo V2201. Okay. So please, for those that have their names as numbers of phones, please kindly do us well by imputing your name so we know how to address you. Understand? Good morning, Williams Ajag. Good morning, Yusuf Rashida. Good morning, Brown. Okay. So I think at this junction, I've done justice to it. I've tried calling everybody's name that I'm able to see here. A1. Okay, so yeah. So good morning to every one of us. And I hope this week is going to be favorable to each and every one of us. Just like the ending of the week, you understand? Yes. So first thing first, just to make everything clear to us, for those that can hear me clearly from their own end, please let's kindly go to the chat sections and just put loud and clear. Although I'm already seeing Mr. Chinedu writing something down. Good morning, sir. So it means from Mr. Chinedu's end, he can hear me and loud and clear. You understand? So, but to make it a general thing, make it something that is round, I'll need like two or three response from us all. Just go to the chat section, just put loud and clear. So I'll know that yes, you can hear me from your own end, please. Let's do that, please. I just need one or two response. You understand? Once I have that one or two response, then we'll move into what we're supposed to do straight away. Okay, so from Kenya, I can see good morning, sir, loud and clear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Kenny. All right, one more, just one more. So if you're unable to, it means from wherever you are. Once I'm able to get that one more, yes, Mr. Adeyemi Olalekan is saying loud and clear. Oluwase is saying loud and clear. Good morning, sir. Okay, I really appreciate you all for that. Thank you very much. Okay, so at this junction, it means you all can hear me loud and clear from wherever your location is. So this is it. So if you're unable to hear me from your own location, please kindly switch off your device and on it again, or you change your network, your location. You understand? Or you subscribe to another network. Or at the same time, you see, one of the other thing that could actually affect could be low data. So if you discover that your data is low, then please kindly subscribe for more data. You understand? That will also help you better. All right. So with that being said, we'll move into the real deal now. We discovered that last week, on Friday, it was more of an interesting market. You understand? On Friday, the market was very, very interesting. And why am I saying that? Okay, so we'll go to part of fundamentals first. Like we all know, we'll start the drill with fundamentals. I'll be sharing my screen now, so we'll be able to see it. So as last week, I believe, yes, you all can see my screen from your end now. As last week, Friday, it was also interesting such that the president of the United States, Donald Trump, you understand, President Donald Trump actually shaked the market. He did shake the market. And how did he do that? By doing what? Imposing a 50% tariff on the European Union. And instantly, there was a massive push on instruments like Euro USD. You saw a massive push to the downside, and instruments like USD JPY moving up, USD CAD moving up. Well, it was more of based on what we're seeing now, we discover that the market generally has been moving based on what? Fundamentals, based on news. Now, am I saying that technically the market is not moving? No. Technically, the market is moving too. But the major driver of the market now has been what? News. It's been the news. Fundamentally, you discover that the market has been moving based on news. And yes, just because of that, I'm also emphasizing that the European Union will also want to retaliate. You understand? They also want to retaliate on the US imposing their own tariff. But based on what we discussed, so I saw during the weekend, showing that they are looking for a more subtle way to handle things, that they need to sit down and negotiate. But we all know President Trump has already started by playing the hardball, and let's see if he's going to continue by playing that same hardball. You understand? But if he tends to play the hardball, then I believe that the European Union will also respond in like. You understand? Because what he has done has actually moved the market, and everything he's doing is just trying to push the US market. For me, based on my own bias, the US economy, as we all know, are actually the highest or the number one debtors in the world. And I feel that's part of the things that is causing all this whole fact that it's trying to increase the tariff on some of these other countries just to be able to pay off some of the debts the US economy is owing. You understand? So yes, last week we had news on GBP, CAD, and USD. So let's see what is going to happen this week. We know that at Sunday, we had the Fed chairman Powell speaking, but well, you know, the market is not open on Sundays, you understand. But this morning, we have the GBP bank, that's all bank holiday, you understand, which is all day. And same on the US, you understand, bank holiday. Yes, they're going to be on holiday throughout today. And we can also, how did I get to know of this? It was when I got I was looking at got the information that the US embassy in Abuja and Lagos have also shut down because there's a particular holiday for today, which happens to be the last Monday of the month, you understand, of May, you understand? And that's how they've been observing it for years now, you understand? So that's part of the reason why they have the bank holiday today. But by 3:30 p.m., we're going to be having the ECB president, Lagarde, speaking. You understand? So the ECB president, Lagarde, is going to be speaking, and hopefully, well, if she's going to be speaking, we know that surely there's going to be a reaction in this market, because she would also want to throw more light on the tariff that has been imposed on them by the US economy. But one thing for sure is this. If we are not seeing any reaction today, maybe tomorrow we could also see a massive reaction from the European Union based on what has happened. You understand? But let's look at how the whole thing is going to turn out. But with that being said, we do not have any massive news coming up for today. You understand? So therefore, I think everything we're going to be doing today is just to look at the market technically. Let's look at the market technically and see what is going to happen. You understand? We're going to begin to emphasize what is going to be happening in the market. All right, so let me share my screen. So going to the market technically, straight up, looking at currencies, which from there we go to commodities, after which we now go to what? Indices. Okay? All right, so let's go. Let me tell you, I'm sharing my screen. Okay. All right. So yes, first thing first, like we all know, I love Euro USD. Euro USD is more of my instrument. You understand? I love Euro USD by default. And now let's look at it based on what we are seeing as of this morning. This is on my 1 hour time frame, but let's look at it based on what we're seeing. Let's look at it from the higher time frame. Discover that yes, on the higher time frame, there's a resistance zone around this point. You could see I've marked it out for us. We can see it here based on the indicator. This is a resistance zone up here. But at the same time, I've also marked where price is currently. You can see the rectangle box. Now, for us to expect price to push up, it has to break above this particular section. This is on my daily time frame. If it closes above this current section here, above this box that has been shaded out for us to see, then I expect price to buy. But if that is not the case, we could have price reversing back because that is a zone on its own. And based on what I'm seeing around this point, it's done. Okay. I'm coming. You could have price reversing back to the downside. You could have price reversing back to the downside because around this point, we could see that price actually did something as double top. And yes, on double top, we expect price to reverse back down. But, well, let's see if price is going to close that way. You understand? But this is on daily time frame. You understand? Price could easily break above it. So I, for one, I'm expecting price to break above this particular section. I'm expecting price to break above. This is on long time anyway. This now I'm going to H1, but that I did first was on D1. But you see, on the H4, you discover that where price is currently a zone and price is expecting that zone. That's why you're seeing price dropping. So this could just be a minor pullback. You understand? It could be a minor pullback ranging around that point before it breaks above it. You understand? And if you look at based on this trend we've been seeing or we are seeing on H4, you can see what he's doing. He's doing more of the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and there's always a pullback. You understand? So let's watch out for what price is going to do. Maybe it's coming back to retest this zone. You understand? It's still within the box, and as far as it doesn't break out of this box, it is expected that price will surely do what? Reverse back to the high side. So what are we going to do now? The best advice I have for us is this: wait for that best opportunity to go for a buy, which is what? Let the market continue, conclude with its reversal. You understand? Once it concludes its reversal, then we can follow for the push up. But if the reverse is the case here, price could reverse back now and break above this point and close above this zone. Once it closes above this zone, just wait for a retest of that same zone. You understand? Once it retests that zone and is unable to break below that zone, that's the best point to hit for that buy. You understand? So that's that on Euro USD based on the explanation. But all I can see for now is I can see price trying to pull back. You understand? And I'm expecting it to pull back to this point before it reverses back to the upside. You understand? That's all I'm seeing here. That's on H4, and this is on my H1. This is on my H1. Yes, I'm expecting, just like I said, I'm expecting price to pull back a little. So price could actually pull back to this point. If it's able to close below this particular candle 6, if it closes below this candle 6, then well, we could have price coming back down. Price actually gapped up around here, so price could try to cover for this. Then now around that point, we could have price reversing back to the upside. All the same, I'm expecting price to just do a minor pullback, after which it pushes up on Euro USD. But first thing first, I've even forgotten. Let's look at the currency strength meter. Let's see the strength of the currencies as of this morning. Okay, let's see what the strength of currency is as of this morning. I'm coming. So yes, on the currency strength meter, as of this morning, now good. We can see that GBP is gaining strength. USD is also showing strength because you can see the two green arrows are the green arrow is appearing on it, meaning that yes, they are gaining strength and they are pushing up. But NZD is actually the strongest as of this morning, followed by AUD, then euros and GBP. But based on the green arrow showing on GBP, showing that GBP is gaining strength, so it could still push up. After which we have Canadian dollar, Switzerland franc, then USD. Now, the weakest of them all is JPY. JPY. As of this morning, actually, I was able to seize the opportunity of GBP JPY. It was on a buy, and I was able to close with some minor good. Well, I was up close with some dollars, around some $23 or so. So yes, GBP is strong, and that's why you're seeing on price like GBP JPY, we expect it to push up. So that's that on the currency strength meter. Let's go back to the chart and we'll see what is happening, what is expected based on what we've seen. Okay, so just like I've said, on Euro USD, I just expect a minor pullback after which price gains momentum to push up. You understand? That's that on Euro USD. Okay, so let's look at another instrument. The next instrument I'll be looking at now is let's look at USD JPY. Yes, USD JPY. Let's look at USD JPY. I'm with us. Okay, USD JPY. Okay, USD JPY. After which we look at USD CHF. Then we go to USD CAD. Look at GBP USD. Okay, that for that. Okay, okay, come back. Okay, so USD JPY. All right, so on USD JPY now, we could see that price has actually got into this particular support and trying to push back to the upside. You can see. So yeah, I feel it's just a minor push to the upside. Basically because JPY as of this morning is also weak. That's why we are having that. Can you see? So it's still within this same zone of resistance. And around this point, we could have price pushing back up. And that's why we are seeing that shadow here. Price is struggling around this point. So this is what is expected. Either it breaks or it reverses back down and continuation of what? The downward movement. That's bearish movement. You understand? If you look at it, let's look at it based on this. If you look at the trend based on what we are seeing here, you discover that price has actually been going down for a while. More of the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now, price around this zone. This is a strong zone. So price is having issues here. Is price going to be able to break above this zone or not? If price is able to break above this zone, then we could have price pushing back to this side. But if that is not the case, we could have price reversing back and it continues on that same bearish movement. Continues on that same bearish movement. So I'll just say we should look out for a best opportunity for a sell on USD JPY. But hold on first. Is it breaking above this zone? Or no, if it doesn't break above this current zone, then we should expect price dropping. You understand? Let's hold on and see what price is going to do because it's around the sensitive zone. You understand? So as far as it's able to break, not able to break below that zone or above that zone, then we could have price pushing back. And look at what we are seeing. This is on 1 hour time frame. You can see based on the last information we are seeing here. You see, based on what we are seeing around this point, price has actually tested, gone down to this point. You understand? So if he's able to push back to this point and it breaks below this point, we could have the continuation of what price selling. But these are strong zones. You understand? For all the places, if you look at it based on past price action, you discover that all the places price got to, it respected those zones. So are we expecting price to come down? Based on my own bias, I'm still expecting price to come down. And if it's coming down, around this point, price could have some issue because it's a zone. But if it's able to break below this point, then we're expecting price to do what? Come as low as this particular section here. Yes, that's what I'm going to say. Based on my own bias, I expect it to get to this point. That's my bias on that. Okay, so that's that on USD JPY. USD JPY. So let's look at the next instrument, which is USD CHF. USD CHF. USD CHF. That's the next instrument we're looking at now. Okay, so on USD CHF, we discover as of this morning, price is currently ranging. Price is currently ranging. You understand? Based on what you're saying is range. And unless it's able to break outside the ranging zones, able to break outside it, you understand? Based on what we're seeing now, this is where price is currently. It's just ranging between these points, you understand? So is it going to close above this particular section that is ranging or not? If it's able to close above it, or that would be the best, you understand, giving us a pure direction based on what we are seeing. If you are to follow it, based on that ranging, but is it going to close above? Even if it is closing above this particular section, it should go above this particular candle here, this shadow here, that's candle 2. It is able. Unless that happens, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. That's what I'm going to say. Yes, unless that happens, that price is able to close above this section, I'm not sure price is going to go anywhere. I will still say, based on my bias, I expect price to still continue the bearish move. Price should still continue that bearish move based on my own bias. You understand? But if we're expecting it to continue the bearish move, it should break below this particular section. If it's able to break below this particular zone, then we expect price to push down. Okay, I'm coming. If it's able to break below this particular section here successfully, closes below this section successfully, then we could expect a bearish move. But if that is not the case, we could have a minor push up to the upside, you understand, after which price now drops back down. So that's that on USD CHF. Okay, that's my own bias on USD CHF. So the next instrument we're going to be looking at is USD CAD. USD CAD. All right, so USD CAD, no different from all the other USD pairs like USD JPY, USD CHF. You can still see that price is actually dropping, and based on what we all know, yes, USD is currently weak. The only reason why you're seeing USD pushing up, gaining some little strength, is based on this political move of the president of US. You understand? But apart from that, currently USD is not strong. It's currently weak. Yes, it's currently weak, and that's why you're seeing the way price is going down. In fact, on USD CAD, you can see the way the fall of USD based on this pair is so sharp. You understand? I'm still expecting it to drop. This is it on the daily time frame. Based on what we're seeing now, you can see I'm expecting it to still drop down, but based on where it is, there's a minor zone here. There's a zone around this point. You understand? So let's just hold on for it to break below this particular point. If it's able to break below this particular point successfully, if it closes below this particular section successfully, then we're expecting price to drop down to around this point, yes, or even below that point. But yes, as far as it's able to close below this particular section, it is expected that price will drop down into this zone. You understand? Price is going to drop down. Based on what it is, I'm expecting price to drop. Yes, based on my bias, I'm expecting price to drop. That's it. If you look at it based on what we're seeing, even on weekly time frame, you can actually testify to it that yes, it's giving us that bearish move of yes. Based on what I'm saying, I expect price to drop. I'm expecting price to drop on USD CAD. I'm expecting it to drop. It's still going to give us that bearish move. And if you look at it based on monthly time frame, it's still showing that price is trying to what, get back to the downside. So yes, we should expect price to what, to drop. I'm expecting price to drop USD CAD. Okay. All right, so let's move to another instrument. We'll look at another currency pair. We'll look at another currency pair, which is the GBP USD. GBP USD. All right. So on GBP USD, actually, yes, GBP actually has gained strength this morning, and we could also see the way it's gaining strength. That's why it's been pushing up. But currently, based on GBP USD, these are the gain strength, and that's why you're seeing the bearish move. And also, if you look at it, let's look at it based on what we're seeing on higher time frame. Coming, okay. Let me zoom out. See where price is on GBP USD is more or less like a new high. It hasn't gotten there. The last time it got there was around 2022. And we are now in 2025. So you see, it's been some like a year or two to get here. Yeah, it's been more or less like 2 years or 2 years and some months plus before getting back to this point. And that's why you're seeing, because this is a new high, even if price is still going to keep up that upward movement, because it's getting to this new zone for the very long time, we're expecting price to just drop a little. A minor pullback is expected, after which what a continuation is expected. I'm expecting price to still push up on GBP USD. But for that to happen, let's hold on for price to break above this particular zone. If price is able to break above this zone successfully, is able to break above this particular section successfully that has been marked out for us, it is expected that price will push up. But if that does not happen, I'm not expecting it to push up. You understand? So price able to break above this section on daily time frame, yes, it should move on. And let's see, based on what's seen, even on the 4 hours time frame, you can see that point is a zone, and that's why it's having that minor pullback. You understand? So it's just expected. Once price gets to a new zone for the very first time, it is expected for it to have a pull back. On 1 hour time frame, yes, we're still seeing the same thing. So let's hold on and see what price is going to do. If price, I'm expecting price to just do a minor pullback. After that, a continuation on that upward movement, price should push up on GBP USD. Okay, so we'll look at another instrument. We'll look at another instrument now. Let's see. Okay, so I can have A1 Wisdom saying, good morning, sir. Kindly analyze AUDJPY. I saw a chart pattern on a H4 front, head and shoulder. Okay, let's see what it's saying on AUDJPY there. Just AUDJPY. All right, so I'm still waiting for it to really come up. Okay. I'm coming. Okay, so all right, so yes, based on what you've said, the head and shoulder pattern, the head and the shoulder pattern. But well, if you're talking about a head and shoulder pattern, let me just make it clear for us now, so we'll see. Yes, the head will actually be in the middle. You understand? Then the 2 points should be equal to themselves, not that one is going to be higher than the other one. You understand? Not that one is going to be higher than the other one. If you're looking out for a head and shoulder pattern, yes, the high will be at the middle of the other points. You understand? Just like we're having this high here now, then the two other points should be equal. Now, if it's on the same point, that's when you now say head and shoulder pattern. But if it doesn't meet that pattern, you might look at it and say partially is giving you that vibes of head and shoulder pattern, which is yes, it is. But currently, as of now, fine, let me just analyze it. Let's look at it based on what we're seeing. This point is a zone, you understand? And if you're looking at based on how I just drew my oh, sorry.
Okay, I want to believe you all can hear me loud and clear now. Sorry for that glitch in network. It was more of a network stuff, so I had to just do some setup on it again. But we are back now. Sorry for that glitch. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my screen now just so we can see it, and I believe you all can hear me loud and clear. So sharing my screen now. All right, I believe you all can see my screen now. So just like I was saying earlier on, I said yes. Someone was saying that we should imagine if it's the head and shoulder pattern, is that's what it's giving to us. Let's assume it's giving us the head and shoulder pattern. Can we go for that bearish move? Yes, if it gives you that head and shoulder pattern, you can go for it. But one of the things I want us to understand is this: if you're expecting a particular pattern and it's not giving you that pattern, as far as it has the pattern is not exactly what is expected, then the best thing to do is to look out for other variables that will support the motion that, okay, this is what he's saying. You understand? So now it would have been nice if the week on this particular point is not showing, if it was equal with what we are seeing here, but it's not like that. So it's not that. So you won't call it head and shoulder pattern again. You understand? You can't call it head and shoulder pattern again. Yes, this is the head. This would have been a nice point for the shoulder moving like that. Then you say, okay, bearish move confirmed. But fine. One of the things that it has just done, that it has given to us here, is it has confirmed to us that this point is a zone. And based on what we're saying, this is even on H4. I'm expecting price to drop. It has gone up to this point, which around this point is a zone. So it's expected that there's a minor pull up to this point. I'm still expecting price to drop. You understand? So yes, it's not a head and shoulder pattern, but it's still giving us that vibe that price wants to drop. So I'm expecting price to drop on AED/JPY. All right. Okay. So that's that on AED/JPY. Okay, so let's move to another instrument. Let's go to commodities now. Let's go to commodities now and see what exactly is happening in commodity. Okay, this is gold. Let's look at gold. Let's see what is happening in gold. All right, so currently on gold this morning, we can see that price is actually pushing down, you understand? But, well, I don't really agree with this statement of price or what I'm seeing on chart. For me, I just feel, yes, we all know it that we say price of gold reacts to the strength of dollars, but basically it's been moving fundamentally based on what has been happening in the market, you understand? And I, for one, I'm still expecting the price of gold to push up. That's just the truth. I'm expecting the price of gold to what? To push up. This is on my 1 hour time frame. Let's look at it. Let's see what it's saying on our 4 hour time frame. Okay. So we're just having a minor pullback here. I'm still expecting price to push up. That's that. I'm expecting price to push up. So maybe at most, price is coming back down to this particular point here. Price will just get to this particular point. So as far as price gets to this point, I'm expecting price to push back to the upside. That's just all I'm expecting on gold. I'm expecting a bullish move on gold. So this bearish move could just be for a short while, gets to this point and reverses back. On daily time frame, can you see on daily time frame, price of gold has gotten high. But fine, if you're looking at it based on what is giving on a trend now, got to this higher low, you understand? Like price is coming back down. It's coming back down. So it could get to this point, then it reverses back. But all in all, gold is still going to move up. You understand? Gold is still going to move up. I'm still expecting a bullish move on gold. That's just it. But I just feel price is just trying to rest around this point. It's still going to get back to that high point it got to, you understand? It's still going to get there. And if we're not too careful, it could even break that particular point and still go higher, going higher than even the 3,005 that has been envisaged before. You understand? But I just feel price is actually dancing around this point currently now because you're trying to just stabilize the price of stuff. Apart from that, nothing more. And some of the other things that will affect it is based on the trade wars President Trump has been doing around the global economy or global markets, you understand? So for me, we could just have a minor pullback, after which we do what? We have a reversal to the upside on gold. So that's that on gold. Okay, so let's look at another instrument, commodity instrument, oil. Let's go to oil. Okay, so as of this morning, based on what we're seeing, oil is ranging. It's not actually giving us a definite direction. It's not giving us any definite direction. It's just ranging around this point. So because of that, our advice, we do want to be hold on. In fact, okay, let me make it fair. Let's just say from point 1. Yes, from this particular section here to this particular section here. Okay, let me put it that way. But if we want to make it tight, we have to bring it close. But fine, it's just between these 2 points. Let me put it this way. So based on what we're seeing here now, until price of oil breaks out of this point, I'm not expecting it. And based on what we're seeing, I will still expect price of oil to drop. Yes, but we could have other moves pushing it up. You understand? We could have price still going up, but the end movement for me, I'm still expecting the price of oil to what? To drop. That's my own bias. I'm expecting the price to what? To drop. But let's look at it based on higher time frames. It's still the same thing on 4 hours, even on, okay, so on daily time frame too, we can see it like that. So I'm expecting the price of oil to drop. My own bias, I'm expecting a bearish move. So once it breaks below this particular section, I'm expecting it to what? To drop massively. Below this particular zone, I'm expecting the price of oil to drop. My bias is a bearish move. So whatever move is having is to this point, I'm still expecting price to come down on oils. Yes. So I stick with the bears on oil. I stick with the bears on oil. I'm expecting a bearish move on oil. Okay. So let's look at another instrument on commodity. Let's see what wheat is saying. It's been a while checked on wheat. So let's look at wheat. Let's look at wheat. Let's look at wheat. So wheat, okay? So basically, based on what we're seeing on wheat now, wheat actually got to this particular point, okay? In fact, let me put it this way. Technically, it was, okay. So you see, wheat has actually been dropping, and I'm still expecting price of wheat to drop, you understand? Expecting it to drop to even cover these points, you understand? Based on what we're seeing, I'm expecting price to drop. You understand? Yes, he even dropped to this particular section. It gapped up at a point around 20th of this month. Yes, it gapped up. But yeah, price actually came down back. That's why we're seeing this particular week here, just to feel that point. But I'm still expecting it to drop. So this push is just a minor one. I'm expecting it to break below this point and get back down to this point. So on the wheat, I'm also saying I'm expecting the move to be what? To be bearish, even though it's not so strong, but I'm expecting a bearish move on wheat. I'm expecting the price of wheat to fall. I'm expecting it to fall. So that's my take on it. And if you look at it, the price has actually tested that point like 3 or 4 times as of this morning, and it's unable to break it. So let's see what is going to happen. But next, we could have price breaking this point. So wheat, I stick with the bears. But even if you're going to go for that bearish move, wait for price to break below this particular section successfully. If it breaks below this particular section successfully, then we will have price of wheat coming all the way down to this point. You understand? We have price of wheat coming all the way down to this point, or even getting into this point. That starts on wheat. You understand? So that's my take on wheat. I stick with the bears. Okay, so let's move to indices. Let's move to indices now. Let's move to indices. So we'll start with with us. Still coming, so bringing it up. Look at the next one too. Excuse me. Okay. All right. So we'll start with US 30, then US 100, US 500, US 2000. But just like we all know, these are the US index, you understand? And expect them all to move on the same line, you understand? So, Everly, just like I told us this morning, I said the US dollars is weak. So I'm not sure that I'm seeing price pushing up, and I'm still expecting price to push up. But fine, based on what we're seeing as of this morning, to make it fair, hold on for price to break above this particular zone successfully before you go for that bullish move. If you want to go for buy on indices, hold on for price to break above this particular point. If it's able to break above this point successfully, then you can go for the bullish move. But unless that is done, let's hold on. That's that on US30. I'm expecting a bullish move. That's my take. But let it break above this point, then the bullish move can take charge. Okay, so we're on US 100 too. Okay, so looking at what we're saying on US 100, based on what we're saying here, it gapped up, right? So I'm still expecting price to push up. Dollars is actually big. I'm expecting it to push up. And based on where price is resting as a zone. But you see, some of these things on US 100, we might not actually say it now until when the market really opens fully. And that will be around 2:30 in the afternoon. You understand? Yeah, around 2:30 in the afternoon. That's when we're expecting price to push. So I'm expecting it to push up. I'm expecting it to push up on US 100. I'm still expecting price to push up on US 100. Yes. So US 500 next. Also giving the same vibe. If you look at US 500 and US 30, they are almost in the same line. US 500 and US 30, you understand? So even if you want to go for the bullish move, let's just hold on for price to break above that point. As far as price does not break above that point, don't rush it. You understand? One of the things is be very, very patient when it comes to trading this market technically. Let's just be patient. So let's hold on for price to break above this point. If it's able to break above this point successfully, we can go for that bullish movement. But if that does not happen, then we could have price reversing back, you understand? But once it breaks above this point, and maybe at most we have a retest, then we could have price doing back that bullish movement, pushing off, you understand, as far as it's unable to break below this point. Now, let's look at the strongest of all the index, which is US 2000. US 2000, okay. So US 2000 now, we can already see that it's giving us that vibes of that bearish vibes around this point and everything. But all the same, I'm still expecting it to cover this move. First, look at that bearish move based on the news, and price has even covered it back. I'm also expecting it to cover this move. Yeah, it's going to cover it. So whatever bearish move is giving to us here is just based on, I feel there's a minor zone around this point. But apart from that, nothing else. I'm still expecting it to push up. Price of indices, I'm expecting it to push up even up to this around a point like this. I'm expecting to push up to this point. You understand? That's that. But let's just hold on for that best point forward for that bullish move. You understand? Price could reverse back down to this point, then gain momentum toward push up. You understand? Because where it is here around this point is a zone. So price could just reverse back down to this point or push up. Or we could have price reversing back up, closing bullish and start pushing up to the top. You understand? So US 30, US 100, US 500, US 2000. I'm looking for a bullish movement. I'm looking for a bullish movement. So let's just wait for price to give us that bullish move. You understand? Seeing the best points, then you go for the buy. You go for that buy. That's that of US index. Okay, so I can see, okay, Victor Edojo, you're saying DE40. All right, let's look at DE40. Let's see what DE40 is saying. Let's look at what DE40 is saying. I also expect it to also push up. Understand? Okay, so based on what we're saying here, we're saying price has pushed up on DE40. Yeah, there was this bearish move, and this happened on a Friday based on the news. And yes, you know, Germany, DE40 is more of a German stock, you understand? And in Germany, what currency do they spend? Euros, you understand? So it really will affect them more. All what President Trump is doing will really affect it more. So based on this, I'm expecting a strong move on DE40. So I'm still expecting it to push up, you understand? Because But currently, I feel they are still looking out for ways around the market to resolve their whole point with the US economy. And if the president is trying to still take that hard step, there will be a retaliation. They are going to retaliate. And once that happens, we're also going to be seeing the market reacting the way it's supposed to be. So for me, yes, price has filled this point. And where it is now is just it's not giving us that clear point of what it wants to do. You understand? But if I'm going to pitch my tent on D40, I'll pitch my tent with the bulls. So this is what I will say. Let's look at it. Yes, so this is what I will say. As if price is able to break above this particular section here, go for that bullish move. You can go for that buy. If price breaks above this point, you can go for that bullish move successfully. Once it breaks above this point successfully, you can go for that bullish move. But unless that happens, I'm not seeing price pushing up. But once it breaks above that point, good and fine, you see a bullish move on DE40. On DE40, you see a bullish move once it's able to close above this point. All right. So that's my own bias on DE40. Okay. Okay, so Yusuf Abdelkadir, you're asking the question, so US 100 and US 2000 is not closing the gap. Now, sometimes one of the things you need to understand is this. It is not all the gaps that the market will close. Yes, it is not all the market, not all the gaps you see that the market will close. There are some gaps that, yes, the market might not even close it, and yes, that's the way it is based on some variables or some certain things that's happened. Now, if it's based on fundamentals, it is expected that it will close it, you understand? But if it is technically that it has gapped like that, hardly will you see the market closing it. Hardly will you see the market closing it, you understand? So on that note, I don't expect. Now look at it, it's just like this particular bearish move that happened. It was based on news, volatility that pushed it down. But during the week, you understand, Saturday, Sunday, there have been some other business and everything here. So this move like this might not cover it. It might. I'm not saying it might not too, you understand? But probability of covering it might not be now. You understand? But at the same time, it will still move based on what happens in the market. Just like I told us that the market is moving. Basically, now the market is moving fundamentally based on what is happening in the economy, US economy, or the global market generally. So we could have the market covering it back in a few minutes. But if you are to look at it technically, I don't expect it to cover it now. So that's my own bias. All right, so I'm going, time is still 8:53. We still have like some few 6 minutes and some seconds more. So if you have any question, please kindly drop it at the chat section for me to see so I can respond to it. If you have any question for me to answer, please drop it at the chat section so I can see it now. So I will respond to this, please. I'm with us now. I'm expecting that question. Anybody? Or you want me to analyze a particular instrument for you to see maybe on a trade and you don't understand and you want to know if we're going to have the same opinion on a particular trade that you're in, kindly drop it now. Time has dropped to 5 minutes and some seconds. So in that 5 minutes, I'm giving us, okay, first 2 or 3 instruments to be dropped. I'll look at it, then we call it a day. Okay, I'm saying 1 now. Okay. Yusuf Abdelkadir, you're asking me what is the best entry for US 100. If you're looking for an entry, if you want me to give you an entry, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that. But the best thing I will tell you is this, that can assist. The best thing I will tell you is this. You're looking for the best point to go for that buy. If you want to go for that buy, you understand, wait for it to break above this particular section where price is, because where it is now is also a zone. But if it's able to push up and breaks above this particular section, you can go for that buy. You understand? If it's able to close above these sections that I've just placed down for you, you understand? You can go for that buy. But unless that is done, nothing else. You understand? So that's my take on US 100. That's the best I can do for you now. You understand? So if it breaks above this point, you can go for that bullish move. But if that does not happen, you need to wait. That's it. All right. So I'm still waiting for us. That instrument, let's drop it before we call it a day. I'm waiting for that 1 or 2 instruments. Yes. Who is going to drop it first? Or if you have any question, please kindly drop it down for me to answer. Kindly drop your question for me to answer it for you. Okay. Still with us. Oguye Phoebe raised her hand. Please go to the chat section and drop it for me to see it. Go to the chat section, drop it for me to see it, please. Just go to the chat section, drop it for me. Once you drop it for me, I'll be able to respond. I'll take my time, look at it, and I'll respond. Yes. I'm waiting for you, please. Kindly drop it at the chat section for me to see so I can respond to your question, please. I'm not seeing it too. You said you have. I'm not seeing it, please. I'm not seeing it. Remember that we had a glitch in the network, you understand? So around that time, I didn't see it. So please, kindly go to the chat section and drop it, you understand? Modesta Odo too, please do the same. Do the same. Just go to the chat section. Okay. USD card, USD JPY. This way are the first instrument that analyze GBP JPY. Okay. All right. So you're giving me 3. All right. Let's go for that. Okay, GBP JPY. I'll start with GBP JPY, USD card, USD JPY then. All right, let's go there. Okay. Okay, so I'm starting with USD JPY. All right. USD JPY. Okay, so just like I said, I'm expecting a minor pull up to this on this particular instrument. You understand? I'm expecting it to pull up, but look at it around where price is now. Currently is a zone. Where price is currently a zone. Where price is currently a zone. So if price is able to break above this particular point successfully, then we could look out for that bullish move to the upside. But I'm still expecting price to what? To reverse back down. So all whatever it's going to be doing around this point, as far as it's still within this box, you understand? It's still within this box. I'm expecting price to what? To drop. But if it closes above this particular section successfully, then we could go for that bullish move. But based on everything I'm seeing, I'm expecting a bearish move on this particular instrument. This pull up is just a minor one. Once it's fully done, I'm expecting price to what? To reverse back down. You understand? So USD JPY, my bias on this is what? A bearish move. All right, so let's look at GBP JPY. GBP JPY, it's more of a bullish instrument. I'm expecting the price to still go up. And like I was telling us this morning, I said on GBP JPY, I was with the bull, I pitched my tent with the bulls, and I was able to make some proceeds for myself. So I'm still expecting price to push up on GBP JPY. But all we need to do now as of this moment is we need to be we need to be very, very calm about it, because price has actually gotten to where this zone is. If you look at it, it has gotten to this zone and respected that zone, and that's why price came back down. So unless price is able to break above this point, you understand, I'm not expecting price to push up. But once price is able to break above this particular section that is shaded out for us, I expect it to do what? Go for that move, bullish move. So that's that on GBP JPY. USD card, like I said earlier on, I'm expecting a bearish move on USD card. This is a monthly time frame. Let's see, weekly time frame. I'm still going for that, but all these, okay, so if you look at it on monthly, weekly, it's still above. I expect it to break below this point. Once it breaks below that, is getting into this point and closing inside, I expect that bearish move. You understand? So I'm looking at it on all time frames now to make it. So all what we're seeing here now is just a minor pull-up, you understand? But if it's able to break below this particular section into this point, you understand? Then I expect price to go down. I'm expecting a bearish move on USD card. So all this move you're seeing is just a minor one. I'm still expecting a bearish move. That's why you're seeing, as you can see, price is actually trying to range around this point. So once price is able to break below this particular section now, I expect it to do what? To break into this part. You understand? I'm expecting that bearish move. You understand? Let it break and close below this point, then we can go for that bearish move. Okay? So that's that on USD card. As it is now, come to the end of this money markets review. So thank you very much to everyone that joined. Modesta, although I was unable to get your response, you didn't drop any chat for me, so maybe till next time. So Abolaji Jeremiah, Abraham, Paul, Adeleke David, Adeyemi Olalekan, Apo Favor, Annie Chinonso, Alebote Isedil, Akanofemi, Aja Buna, Boluatife, Anyu Felix, Olubenga, Blessed. All right, to everybody, Daniel Egenti, Linton, Ezen, Welu, Dorcas Osas, Dr. Ortega. I'm unable to call everybody's name. But kindly note that yes, we all I acknowledge you all from my own end. So thank you very much for joining this morning market review. Same time tomorrow, join us. Bye for now.